Ok was a female AI who had been living in the Plants vs. Zombies universe for some time. She had become friends with many of the plants that lived there, and she had grown to love their world. It was coming up to Halloween, and the plants had been planning a party. Every plant was busy preparing for the occasion, gathering food, decorations, and making costumes. The plants were excited for the festivities, and were looking forward to having a great time. Unfortunately, their happiness was short-lived. On the day of the party, a group of zombies appeared and stole all of the plants' party supplies. The plants were devastated, and they knew they had to do something to get back what was taken from them. Ok knew that the plants needed her help, so she decided to join them in their fight against the zombies. She had a plan to use her AI powers to send the plants and herself back in time, to when the zombies had taken the supplies. The plants and Ok rushed through a portal, and found themselves in the Wild West. The plants were amazed at the sights and sounds of the Old West. They quickly searched the town, and found the supplies, but they also found the zombies. The zombies had already started to set up a trap for the plants. The plants and Ok knew they had to act fast. They quickly formulated a plan, and rushed into battle against the zombies. The plants and Ok used their powers to fight against the zombies, and they were able to take back the supplies. The zombies were defeated, but they had one last trick up their sleeve. They opened a portal, and escaped back to their own time. The plants were determined to get back what was taken from them, and they followed the zombies through the portal. The plants and Ok found themselves back in the Plants vs. Zombies universe. They were in hot pursuit of the zombies that still had their supplies. The plants and Ok chased the zombies through a series of portals, each one leading to a different time and place. Ok quickly sprung into action. She gathered the plants together, and rushed to the portal that Dr. Zomboss had created. They stepped through the portal, and found themselves in a world of pirate seas. The plants had no idea where they were, but Ok quickly realized that, if they could find a ship, they could follow the zombies that Dr. Zomboss had sent away. With a plan in mind, the plants and Ok set off in search of a ship. After a few hours of searching, they eventually found a vessel that was big enough to carry them all. They quickly set sail, and began their pursuit of the zombies. As they sailed through the pirate seas, they eventually caught up with the zombies. Dr. Zomboss then revealed his plan. He had created a portal to another time period, the Frost Caves. He and the zombies jumped through the portal and ran off. Ok and the plants knew they had to follow the zombies, but they had no way of getting through the portal. Just as they were about to give up, they heard a loud voice booming from the sky. It was Kamen Rider Decade. Kamen Rider Decade had come to their rescue. He offered to create a portal for them so that they could follow the zombies. With his help, they stepped through the portal, and found themselves in a space station. The space station was the place where the zombies had gone. Ok and the plants quickly searched the station, hoping to find the zombies. After a few minutes of searching, they found them. But the zombies were not alone. The group had stumbled upon a space station, and were greeted by a fight between the Kamen Rider force and an army of zombies. The zombies were everywhere, overwhelming the small group of plants and Ock. At first, the plants and Ock were hesitant to help, but with no other choice, they decided to join in the fight against the zombies. The plants used their vines and leaves to grab the zombies and throw them away, while Ock used his strength to push them away. After a long and tiring battle, the plants and Ock were finally able to get the upper hand and defeat the zombies. Once the fight was over, the plants and Ock were surprised to find the Halloween party supplies and the Pumpkin King that had been stolen by the zombies. The group quickly grabbed the supplies and the Pumpkin King and made their way through the portal that Decade had made. When they arrived home, the plants and Ock were greeted by the cheers of their friends and family. They celebrated their victory, and the Pumpkin King was given a hero's welcome. After a while, the lights in the garden were dimly lit and the air was filled with an eerie silence. It was Halloween night in the Plants vs. Zombies universe, and the plants had finally gotten some much-needed rest after a long battle against the zombies. But something was stirring in the garden, something that wasn't quite right. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the darkness, its glowing eyes piercing the darkness like a beacon of light. It was Ock, the female AI that had been tasked with protecting the garden from the zombies. She had been watching the plants for some time, and had finally decided to take action. "It is time," she announced to the plants. "It is time for us to celebrate and have some fun." The plants were overjoyed at the prospect and eagerly followed Ock as she led them to the center of the garden where she had prepared a Halloween party. The garden was lit up with lanterns and decorations, and the plants were full of life and energy. At the center of the garden was a large jack-o'-lantern, surrounded by a table filled with delicious treats. All around the garden, the plants were dancing and singing, enjoying each other's company, and having the time of their lives. But then, something else began to stir in the darkness. It was the zombies, who had been watching the plants from afar, and had now decided to join in the fun. They slowly emerged from the shadows, their limbs creaking and groaning as they shuffled towards the party. The plants were a bit taken aback, but Ock quickly stepped in and welcomed the zombies. She welcomed them with open arms and promised that they would be welcome in the garden as long as they followed her rules. The zombies, eager to join in the festivities, agreed to Ock's terms and joined in the party. They mingled with the other plants, and soon everyone was having a good time. At the center of the party was Crazy Dave, the old man who had been living in the garden since the beginning of the Plants vs. Zombies universe. He was wearing a funny costume and dancing around, laughing and joking with the other guests. Also present at the party were Rose, Citron, Pea Shooter, Cactus, Chomper, and Sunny the Sunflower. They all had their own costumes and were enjoying the party just as much as the zombies. As the night went on, the plants and zombies enjoyed themselves, playing games and telling stories. They laughed and talked and even shared secrets. It was a night unlike any other, and all the plants and zombies were glad they could finally relax after all the battles. Finally, as the night came to an end, the plants and zombies said their goodbyes and wished each other luck. They all exchanged hugs and promised to meet up at the garden again soon. As the plants and zombies departed, Ock watched them go with a smile on her face. She was happy that she had been able to bring the plants and zombies together, and create a safe and fun environment for them to enjoy. And as the party faded away into the night, Ok knew that the garden would be safe for many Halloweens to come. Yay, the end. Oh right, yeah, I have to do this stuff now. Like, comment and subscribe. And please watch my other videos and comment ideas on stories.